and welcome back to another episode of Through the Waves, and happy 2023! Oh my gosh, woohoo!
Hiya, my name is Amelia May.
Why be anything other than happy?
This is my wellness podcast called Through the Waves. The ocean has always inspired my life in more ways than one.
It should always be filled with love and passion and excitement.
I love viewing my emotions and experiences in life like waves move through the ocean.
I love you! So excited about the new year, and I hope you guys all had an incredible time celebrating the new year and celebrating the holidays. The last time that I recorded was 2.5 weeks ago, so I've missed recording so much and sending you guys all so much love during the holidays, and thank you to everyone who reached out during the holidays with such kind and warm messages. I feel like we have like a little family of people who listen to the podcast that to message me and interact about the episodes, and it warms my heart more than anything. And I truly love when you guys message me about the podcast, and if you message me, you know that I send voice messages back because I just feel like it's a more intimate way to communicate with each other and get to know each other, and that's really what I wanted this podcast to be about. So, waves of the week. I guess I didn't talk about Christmas, although I didn't record during Christmas time. I posted the episode for the holiday episode after Christmas, way after Christmas and after New Year's. So 2 days after I got home I got home back to Delaware, my grandmother had passed away, and so I didn't want to work and I just wanted to spend time with family and grieve together. So I was planning on posting the episode on Christmas Eve, but I ended up just not posting it at all. And once I got back to Florida is when I posted it. And grieving is always really hard, and I don't think there's ever a proper way to grieve or a right way to grieve. And I think something that I tend to deal with a lot is not necessarily feeling my emotions immediately and just letting myself process them until after I'm out of the bubble, and then feeling my emotions super duper hard after. And so that's kind of how I've been feeling this week. I shared that I posted the episode late because my grandmother had passed away, and the messages that you guys sent me were so genuine and so sweet, and so thank you to everyone who reached out to me. It was a really, really hard Christmas. My grandmother had been suffering with dementia for the past 5 years, and so it was really hard to say goodbye to her this Christmas, and all of us being together was really great because she was able to bring us together, and we were able to have a family, a huge family gathering together, and as we remembered her, it was really hard, but it's something that she would have wanted us to all do. Family had spent the first Christmas in 8 years together, which was really hard, but also genuinely, I could not have been happier. And when I was going to bed on Christmas Eve, I literally was in bed, and I looked up to the sky, and I just talked to her, and I was thank you so much, for bringing us together. We love and miss you so much. And I think it's important to remember the good times that shared. My grandmother was older, and it's important to remember all of the amazing times that we got to spend of the best years of her life with her, and her presence always being with us no matter where my family goes or how much time passes. We know that she's always with us. And then celebrating New Year's was incredible. I came home on the 29th and got to spend some time catching up and running errands before I celebrated the New Year's. And New Year's Eve day is like Christmas for me. It's literally a huge holiday. I have the most fun on that day, and I feel like I am so big on setting my intentions and energy going into the new year. So I woke up and I did all my things, which I'll talk about later in the episode, but then I went to work out. I did a 5-mile walk on the beach and just bringing in the ocean breeze and feeling the sand on my feet and just feeling super grounded. And then I went to the sauna to just sweat and release all the things I want to release. And also, I love Christmas time, and I don't think anyone should ever hold themselves back from what they want or what their body feels. And so I definitely indulged in a lot of Christmas treats and had incredible food while I was home. So it was nice to just sweat it out and feel good. I love sweating. It's genuinely one of the ways that I feel connects me to me and connects me to my higher self. I love when I can not sweat out my toxins necessarily, but detox just negative energy, and also I love sweating. Like, I feel like I'm one of those people who, if I'm working out and I'm not sweating, I don't feel as though I'm working out. And so I did that, and then after I came home, I had breakfast, and then I packed all my stuff and basically spent like 3 hours at the beach. I will talk about it later in the episode, but I just sat. I never take enough time to go to and have beach days by myself, and so that's what I did on New Year's Eve day. I just spent all day by myself with my AirPods and music and just at the beach, and the water was beautiful. I think this time of the year is the best year to go swimming in Florida because the water is crystal clear. It's 85 degrees out, and when you're swimming, you can see like little fish swimming by you. So I love going to the beach in January. It's the best. And it's also not crazy busy. Like, I feel like during the summer, it's packed at the beach, and I feel like a lot of people come down for the season, but they don't like spend all their time at the beach because there's so much to do down here. And then also January 1st is my boyfriend and I's 1 year, so we got to celebrate our 1 year, which was truly incredible. We stayed at one of our favorite hotels, and we were right on the water. It was gorgeous. The literally best 24 hours a girl could ever ask for, and we had the most magical time bringing in the New Year's together. So we celebrated on the 1st and 2nd. And we just had like the best time. We went to an incredible dinner to celebrate our 1 year, and we went to an Italian seafood place, and we both love seafood so much. Ryan knows I love Italian. I posted on my story, vodka sauce is like my comfort. Like, penne alla vodka, rigatoni alla vodka. I love pasta and vodka sauce. The restaurant that we went to for dinner overlooked the ocean, so all around, like, we are such big beach people, and so it was so incredible and the best way to bring in our 1 year and our New Year's together. And then I also announced that I am creating a candle company called Truly Intention, and it's all about setting your intentions, and whoever lights the candle, like, I want them to feel inspired by who they are and bring a specific intention to whatever is going on in their day or their night. And so I never thought that I'd ever start a candle company, but this is something that I really want to do, and I feel really purposefully driven to do. And so they're all beach inspired candles. The scents are like ocean inspired, and they all smell like surf wax and coconuts and like a lot of natural scents. And so I'm so excited, and stay tuned because I'm basically gonna do a huge announcement where basically the candles are gonna be free for a certain amount of time, so stay tuned for that. I was so excited to sit down and record this episode because I love talking about the New Year's and all of like the goals and manifestations I'm bringing in the New Year's. So on New Year's Eve day, I woke up and I did a New Year meditation. And you guys know, if you listen to my morning routine, I first thing immediately woke up and did it, and it was a meditation about seeing your highest version of yourself at the end of the year and just seeing like all the things that you've accomplished. Physically, I cannot remember or tell you any of the things I thought about, but subconsciously, I remember waking up from that and just feeling so inspired and so excited to start the year. So I did that, and then after I did 20, I would say like honestly 20 to 30 minutes of breath work. I don't know how long it actually was, but I wanted to definitely focus on bringing in new energy when I was breathing and letting go of all of like the bad things from the year, just things that I'm not looking to carry into the next year. And so I didn't realize how long it actually was until it was over, because to me it genuinely felt like it was 5 minutes. I'm not someone who spends a lot of time on breath work. I feel like I like to do a couple minutes, like 5 to 10 minutes, and then it's like I'm done for the day. And I actually want to add breath work into my daily practices just because I think it's something that calms me down to my core. It's almost similar to how I feel with meditation. Like when I meditate, I feel more present in who I am, and I'm someone who I get stressed out pretty easily with too much on my plate because I'm always saying yes to things. So when I meditate, I feel a lot more calmer and grounded in who I am. And I know that when I carry on with my days, I don't have as much stress or I don't have as much pressure on myself as I would if I didn't meditate. So for the past 3 years, I've been a huge meditator, and I honestly think I'll meditate forever. And then I spent I did this before the New Year started or before New Year's Eve, but I spent like a full, I would say like 3 hours. One night I lit a candle and played music, and I created a vision board for myself for this year. I've never created a vision board for the year. What I've always done is I've created vision boards for the month, and then I will look at them. I'll keep them as my screensaver, so that way, like, subconsciously my brain will take them in. But for the first time ever, I made a vision board, and so things that I included on it were a new apartment. I'm actually moving, so I'm so excited for my new place and my new home, and I included like brands that I would love to work with this year and brands that I really feel like align with who I am. And I think the more I'm growing in my career, it was hard because when I first started, I feel like everything was so exciting to me that I said yes to everything. And so now I feel like I'm pivoting to where I can decide what brands I want to work with and actually decide like what content relates to me and what products relate to you guys that I want to share with you guys because I love so much. And it's not that the brands I worked with in the past I didn't love so much. It's just that I really want to get clear and concise on working with specific brands and making sure that their identity matches my identity and things that I want to share with you guys and show you guys that I practice every single day or practice in my routines. I also included a puppy in my vision board. I have always wanted a puppy or a dog, and so I think I'm gonna rescue a dog. I think what I'm first gonna do is I'm going to foster a puppy and then see how it actually feels, because I've always watched dogs, like when friends have gone out of town, or I used to in my sophomore year, I used to watch dogs for people, and they would like stay with me at my house. And so I think I'm gonna foster a puppy first, and then if I honestly feel like I'm ready to have a puppy, I'm gonna get a puppy. I want to definitely rescue a dog, and there's a rescue center close to me in Miami where it's a rescue for golden retrievers, and I've always thought that I've always wanted a golden retriever, so I guess we'll see, and hopefully I get a dog this year. And then I also included like work goals that I have for myself that I want to achieve, whether it be like traveling or things that I want to do or numbers that I want to reach. I also included travel places like Hawaii and the Bahamas. Lily and I have already talked about going to the Bahamas since she moved. My best friend Lily moved away a couple weeks ago, and so because she did move, we agreed that we would once a year plan one big girls trip for the two of us and just go somewhere fun. So I think we picked the Bahamas for next October. And then I would love to go to Italy this year. The first time I'd ever gone to Europe was this year, and it was to go to Ireland, and I had such a blast. And I've always wanted to go to Italy. It's always been on my bucket list, so I am hoping that I go to Italy this year. I also included photos of like my future apartment, so the aesthetic I'm going for is like super simple, honestly. Kind of like the background of the podcast. I just want like super neutral colors, but then I want like pops to colors, and I definitely want to include like surf elements, so I'm gonna custom surfboards and I'm gonna hang them around the apartment. I also want it to just be like a really clean space. I've been in the apartment that I'm currently in for almost, at the end of next year or the end of February, it would be 3 years. So I feel like I've been here for honestly such a long time, and there's so many memories in this place, and I've truly loved living here. But I think I'm ready for a new start, and I'm so excited for this new apartment, and I can't wait to see what it brings. I also saw the trend that people are doing where they take like photos on their vision board and they compare it to photos that they took this year. And so that's another reason why I was like, I would love to create a vision board, because I want to see all of like my manifestations hopefully come into reality and actually be mine. And so that's why I really wanted to make a vision board, and I had so much fun making this. I like always setting my intentions, and I think it's so important to me. And so I think the vision board was so great because I was actually able to sit down and figure out what I want everything to look like. And not only that, when I was putting in the photos of everything, I wanted to make sure that I felt right about them. Like I wanted to almost feel how I feel when I'm going to receive that, or when I'm going to or when my dream becomes a reality. I also think that that is a huge step of manifestation and like law of attraction. If you want something, you have to feel like you have it first. And as soon as you capture that feeling, the universe or God or whatever you believe in slowly brings that into your life more and more. The more you think about it, the more you practice it, the more words you talk about it. So that's really why when I was doing my vision board, I wanted to sit down and feel those emotions as if I was there in that current moment. I kind of like took a deep breath and closed my eyes and felt like I was living those moments. So when it does happen, it's going to happen faster and sooner. I also included on my vision board surfing. I want to surf a ton more than I have the past year. I feel like since I moved to Florida, I don't surf at all. And I will say, I'm not like a good surfer, like by any means. I'm not like Bethany Hamilton, but I genuinely love surfing, and I think being out on the board makes me the happiest girl in the world, and just feeling like the water on my feet and on my fingertips, and just paddling out and just standing on a wave is like walking on water. And so it's the best feeling in the world. And so I put that on my vision board because I feel like I go to the beach, but I don't make enough time to surf. And whether it's like there's good waves or not, just paddling out on my board and just sitting in the water on my board, because I feel like there's nothing better in the whole world. And to me, that's what makes sense in my world and what calms me down. And that is my favorite place. If I could be anywhere, it would be in the ocean on a surfboard floating around. And then Ryan told me about this app called Daystamp. I've never heard about it, and this is not sponsored. So I keep kicking the table. So basically, it's an app where you can put in the habits that you want to have for like a calendar time. So it gives you like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you can decide what habits you want to create on those days for the rest of like the year or the week. And so I did mine, and I included like when I want to wake up, what time I want to meditate, and it's all by timed if you want to decide. So make my bed, and it just allows you every single night to hold yourself accountable. So you can go in at the end of the day and check off that you did this and you did that, and so you actually did the steps to creating better habits for yourself. And so I always say like identity instead of resolutions, and so I wanted to include that. I'm someone who I've made so many resolutions in the past, and it wasn't until like last year that I realized this, that instead of making resolutions, I want to add these habits and qualities into my identity. That way I can implement them every single day. I think when we set ourselves up for resolutions, it's harder to follow rather than choosing that is just a part of your identity. So one of my identities choices that I'm deciding to adapt this year is walking 10,000 steps a day. No, 10,000 steps 3 days a week. And I'm choosing to make that a part of my identity versus a resolution, because as my identity, it's who I am it's who I show up for every single day, versus a resolution that it's kind of just there for me. I used to think about all these resolutions growing up and write them all down, XYZ. And honestly, at the end of the year, realized that I didn't accomplish them because I didn't make them a part of my daily practice every day or every week or however many times I want to set my intentions. So that's something that I'm really big on right now. So I sat down at the beach and I planned out my Daystamp for the next, I think it's set in there for the next year. So it starts from like my morning routine and my night routine. I always leave like the middle of my day blank because I genuinely have no idea what I'm going to be doing per day. I don't know if I'm going to be working or if I'm going to be traveling. So I always want my mornings to be the exact same and my nights to be the exact same, and that way I can check them off based on how I'm feeling and what I'm doing, and making sure that I'm actually committed to getting better and improving my life every single day, step by step, day by day. I shared a Instagram story about this, but every single year, and I talked about this in one of my past episodes, but every single year I write myself a note to read at the last day of the year. And so I literally took a bag of Sharpies, like I have a bag of colored Sharpies and pens, to the beach with a bunch of paper, and I was just going crazy. I was talking about things that have happened within the past year and figuring out who I am the past year. And I also included like starting a podcast and all the brands that I worked with and all the things that I did, and meeting my boyfriend who I love so much, and all the friends that are currently in my life, and all of the trips that I took. And then on a separate page, this is something that I've never done, but I wrote myself a letter talking about what I did accomplish within 2023 as if I was speaking it into existence. So I was telling myself exactly what had happened and how I achieved all my goals and how it felt to have those moments. And I wanted to share with myself because it's, again, like law of attraction. The more you talk about it, the more you put it into your existence. So I wrote myself a letter from the end of this year, and then I wrote myself a letter to read back for how my year is planned out to go, or what I hope my year ends up being, and all of my goals and expectations. And so that was really cool because I've never done something like that. I've always like had tiny conversations with myself where I used to speak to text things, but that was really nice because I felt like there's something about it, like it feels so real to me. And so that is like, I think, the key of law of attraction. Like the more you speak it, the more you feel it, the more you love it, the more and faster that it comes into your life. And then I started this, but I didn't finish it. I need to finish it. But this year I wanted to record affirmations to myself, and affirmations that are specifically for me, to me. So whether it's like the goals that I wanted to do, or what I want to achieve, or how I want to feel every single day. So I actually need to do this, but I took my microphone and I recorded it just like how I would a podcast episode. And so I want to loop it like either at night or in the morning when I first wake up, or first thing before like my eyes shut and I go to bed. So I need to like finish that, and I want to make it super specific. That way at the end of the day, like I know who I am, and so I know that it's like me talking to myself. I feel like that kind of sounds weird, but I feel like subconsciously my brain will take it in. And also I love affirmations so much. I've talked about that. Like affirmations I feel like bring me closer to who I want to be, and so affirmations decided specifically about me, whether it be like I'm in the best shape and health that I've ever been in. I feel so confident in my body, and I love my body. My body moves perfectly for me. So that way my body, like, and my mind, the more I hear those affirmations about myself from myself, will feel better in who I am. I know that people say like you don't need a new start to start habits and create like the life that you want, but I genuinely feel the opposite. Well, I don't feel the opposite. Like I know you can create habits just every single day, but I literally genuinely I feel like I've been saying genuinely a lot during this episode, but I love so much when a new page, it's like a blank slate. Like there's so much that you can do. There's 365 pages in this book, and you are the creator of them. And so I think it's so cool that every single year refreshes, and you can decide who you want to be for the upcoming year, and you can change and leave characteristics and things that don't serve you in the past year, and you can carry traits and what you want your life to be like within this year into the following 365 days, which I think is so cool, and I love the beginning of the new year. So traits and qualities that I want to bring into my identity this year would be breath work. I want to do breath work before I start my day, after my meditation. That way, like, I am someone who, yes, I deal with anxiety and I forget to breathe sometimes, and I think that'll help me so much after my meditation, feeling present and grounded in who I am, just like getting air in my lungs and just calming me down before I even start my day. And then I mentioned I want to do 10,000 steps 3 days a week, and I think that's something that I can easily do this year. I think what I used to do in the beginning of the year was I would get on the treadmill and I would walk for like an hour, and I would spend the entire time either doing like TikTok, like going through TikToks and Instagram, and I would take the time to do the things that I feel like distract me during my day. So I would spend like a full hour scrolling, and then for the rest of my day not focus on like other things, like not focus on going on my phone and just watching TikToks and just watching Instagram. And I also used to take the time to write out like my ideas and thoughts, because I feel like when I'm moving my body is when I get the most incredible thoughts. And so I always like have my phone in my hand, or I used to do emails. I heard Lauren Bostic do this, and I swear like for a week straight all I did was I would get on first thing in the morning, I'd get on the treadmill and I would pull out my emails and I would send out emails while being on the treadmill, and I feel like my days were so much more productive. Whether it be inside or outside, I definitely want to walk 10,000 steps 3 days a week. And I think walking is such a good form of exercise. It's not super intense. I love being able to move my body every single day. I think that'll be a really, really great one to inherit this year. And then I also want to read before going to bed. I started this last year but didn't do so great on it, and it's something that I definitely want to include in my habits and rituals this upcoming year, because I hate having screen time right before I go to bed. I also put no phone 30 minutes before going to bed, so making sure that I get all my work done and like anyone who I need to talk to before I go to bed, and then do my skincare, brush my teeth, drink my tea, and read, and then go to bed. And I feel like also my sleep schedule sometimes varies, but I feel like when I am off my phone before I go to bed, it helps my rest so much more. And then I feel like I wake up more refreshed as well. I also said that I want to travel at least once a month. I feel like I'm someone who, I love traveling, but I feel like I don't make enough time to travel, and I kind of wait until like I'm planning things with other people instead of taking more trips to just travel for like a day. Or like if I want to fly to wherever I want to go for like a weekend, I should definitely like plan out one weekend every single month where I can go somewhere. It doesn't have to be crazy. Like it could be in the state of Florida. Florida's so big, but I definitely want to expand my horizon and travel a lot more. All my friends who travel a ton, the fact that they've been able to travel so much has expanded their mindset and just opened them up to so many new cultures and environments and see what other people are doing, and it takes you out of your perspective. And so I also want to travel because I'm so young. I think life is so short, and so why not before I have like kids or actual responsibilities that I can't leave to go to. So I want to travel once a month for the upcoming year, which doesn't sound crazy because I feel like it's 12 times a year, and saying that number out loud doesn't mean that much to me versus like saying like one big trip. So that is something I'm definitely implementing this year. And if you guys have any travel recommendations, leave them in the comments or DM me them, because I always love going to new places, and I feel like the world is so vast and there's so much to do that why stay in one place and stay stagnant. Okay, and this is such a big one. I need to stop snoozing my alarms. I feel like I snooze my alarm. I will literally wake myself up after my alarm wakes me up, I'll literally wake up and snooze for like 10 minutes or snooze for 15 minutes. And then I never feel good after that. Like I genuinely wake up after like 30 minutes of sleeping in more or past my alarm, and I feel groggy and I'm kind of upset that I didn't get up when I initially should have. And then it's like a pattern that keeps happening. So I'm breaking that this year. Once my alarm goes off, I am getting out of bed, I'm doing the thing, and I'm gonna feel good about my mornings, because I don't like it, yes, it feels good to sleep in, but it feels worse when I feel like I wake up and I regret spending all that time just in bed. And I'm not saying don't rest, because I'm someone, and my friends will say it, like Ryan says it to me all the time when he's like, oh, like I slept, or when my friends are like, oh, I slept 2 hours past I should have. I'm like, well, your body needed that rest. And they're like, my body doesn't need rest, but it's something that I need to stop doing. So no more snoozing alarms this year. I'm leaving that in 2022, and I'm waking up when my alarm wakes me up this year. I added in taking more self-care nights when I would say like 2 years ago is when I first started like really prioritizing self-care. And so I would pencil into my schedule at least one night a week where I would do like a face mask and a bath, or read a book and make myself dinner. And I feel like I do all those things, but I don't do them in one night. And so I really want to get back to having like one night where I just take a bath, like a scorching hot bath, and relax and do a face mask, or do my nails, or things that I feel like, so I can give myself back love and just spend time with me. That way I can like refresh and restart the upcoming days, or honestly just relax. I feel like I'm so go that I need those days, and I need to start implementing that back into my calendar. So I might make it like every Monday night a self-care night and just spend time with your girl. I genuinely have no idea how long of an episode that was. I feel like I was talking so fast. The past 2 days I've had Starbucks coffee, and I don't know if it's like a me thing, but when I drink Starbucks back to back, I feel so anxious because of how much caffeine is in their coffee, which sounds so weird, but my recent go-to order has been their creme brulee latte without whipped cream, adding oat milk, not regular milk, and I think I do 2 pumps of espresso. Is that too much? Like I genuinely have no idea how much espresso I should be having. So 2 pumps of espresso, and I think I do 2 pumps of their creme brulee, and it's so good. If you like sweet coffee, yeah, I highly recommend. It's been my favorite all week, and yeah. So I genuinely have no idea how long this podcast episode was, and I hope you guys really enjoyed it. And as always, I'm sending so much love to you in this new year, and I cannot wait to hear everything. And if you guys have New Year's like goals, send them to me. I'd love to hear them, and I might even share them on my Instagram. Even though this episode's gonna be posted 2 weeks after the first day of New Year's, I feel like it still counts. And I'm wishing you guys all truly a happy New Year's, and I can't wait to see what this year brings for all of us. So, as always,